So you're in a lucid dream and you want to take object A and turn it into object B. How do you go about morphing one object into another? Right, fifth time's the charm. So yeah, this is actually my fifth time recording this video. The first time I just completely messed it up. The second time I managed to mess up the focus, so the entire thing was so blurry that I didn't want to put it out on YouTube. The third time, the video actually recorded pretty okay. But then the very night after recording this for the third time, I had a lucid dream in which I practiced some of the techniques I was talking about in this video and came up with a better idea to actually include in it. So the next day I recorded it for a fourth time, and once again I messed up the focus on that, so that one was a blurry mess that I couldn't upload. So hopefully the fifth time actually turns out okay, but I would really appreciate it if you drop a like below this video if you enjoy this, because yeah, this video has taken a lot more work than it should have for just a simple short video. And speaking of liking this video, do make sure you're subscribed and that you have notifications enabled if you're actually new here and you're interested in lucid dreaming, because I have hundreds of videos on this subject on my channel and I'm posting more all of the time. And if you actually want to go that step further in supporting the channel, you can check out the Patreon page, or you can actually check out my complete guide to lucid dreaming, the Lucid Dream Book, which there'll be a link for in the top right hand corner and down in the description below. But with all of that out of the way, let's get on to morphing objects in lucid dreams. So first of all, if you just want an object to appear in a dream, this probably isn't the best way to go about it. It is far simpler to just spawn an object than to take one object and turn it into something else. Usually, anyway. Now, if you actually want to spawn an object, I have an actual video about that, so check that out. But the general gist of the idea is that you want to obscure your line of sight in some way and imagine that the object that you want is going to be on the other side of whatever is obscuring your line of sight. It can be on the other side of a door, it can be in a cupboard, it can be in your pocket. It can be around the side of a building, behind a hill, whatever. It doesn't matter, you just want something in the way so that your brain can feasibly believe, hey, the object that I'm looking for is on the other side. This is easier than just spawning something from thin air right in front of you, or morphing an object into another object, because that's something that you can't really see happening in the real world, so it's a little bit harder for your subconscious to believe that it's going to happen. But there are ways around this. First of all, once you've been lucid dreaming for a while, you're going to realise that the normal rules of the waking world just don't apply. That things that seem impossible in the waking world are very much possible in your lucid dreams. And so it's going to get easier to believe that you can do these, supernatural things and use these superhuman abilities and so on, and it's not going to be so difficult to actually perform them. Another thing you can do is harness the power of visualization. I suggest before bed, before you actually plan to actually try out your lucid dreaming techniques, close your eyes, lay there for a while and visualize yourself morphing an object into another object. Do this each night until you've actually succeeded at doing this in one of your dreams. Another little trick that you can use is to actually look at videos on YouTube. Search for like After Effects, animation, morphing objects, or just animation morphing objects tutorial or whatever. Search for that on YouTube and then look at the finished result. Look at the little animation that they have of object A morphing into object B, whatever the objects happen to be. Watch how they actually morph together, because each time you actually see that, you're giving yourself some visual inspiration for how that's going to look when you try to do that in a dream. So now there's less work for your subconscious to do, and it's much more likely to work when you actually try it. But why am I recording this video for the fifth time? Well, like I said, after I actually recorded it the last time, I decided to experiment a bit in one of my lucid dreams. And I was experimenting in particular with morphing faces. I would pick a character, I would walk up to them, and I would try to morph their face into a completely different face that didn't even remotely resemble the previous face they had. It might even be changing their gender, adding a beard where there was no beard, changing the colour of their hair or their eyes, and I would just go around and I would mess around with all of the people there and make them look completely different to how they looked before. When I advise people about spawning objects, I usually say to obscure your line of sight in some way. Now, with morphing an object into another object, you could just, turn around and imagine that the object's going to change, but that's no fun. You don't get to see the cool effect of the object morphing. But there is a sort of in-between that you can do. What you can do is what I did in that dream. I put my hand up like this, like, when you're like framing things with your hands, like a picture frame effect. I did that, but with just one hand, over the face of the person, but I left like a little gap so I can see like a corner of their face. And basically, as I held my hand up in front of their face like this, as I would turn the hand, the part that I was revealing of their face would change into exactly what I was imagining, and then the rest of the face would get covered up, the part that hadn't changed yet, and then I would keep turning my hand until the whole face had been revealed. And I was honestly surprised at just how effective this was, because previously when I've morphed things, I have done it either, just by pointing and sort of imagining that the thing's going to change, or literally just using my mind and imagining. And with that process, with just imagining that something is going to change into something else, I found that it works pretty often, now that I've done it a few times, but it doesn't work every time. But when I was doing this with my hand, it was literally 100% 100% success rate. I was just doing this, change a face, doing this, change another face, doing this, change another face, and it was just completely effortless. And I think the reason it worked so well is because I was obscuring my line of sight. I didn't have to see, you know, the face like morphing and changing, but I was seeing it, you know, I still was getting a cool effect because, you know, I was pretty much instantly shifting the face every time I did this with my hand. So if you're trying to morph an object into another object, give this a try. You can do this, it doesn't have to be, you know, a person's face. If it's a really large thing, let's say you're trying to turn a house into, I don't know, a cathedral, then put your hand closer to your face until you've obscured it, and then do the same thing and watch it change. And don't worry if this doesn't work the first time, that's normal with a lot of lucid dreaming techniques. Try it a few times and then see if it actually works for you. I hope you found this helpful. By the way, if you stuck around to the end of this video, I'm going to give you guys a 15% off discount code that you can use for my lucid dreaming book, the Lucid Dream Book. You can use the code LUCID at checkout to get 15% off. Anyway, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe and enable all notifications so you can stay up to date when my new videos come out. And if you want to keep watching, check out one of the videos on screen, go watch that, and I'll see you there soon. Take care.